Well, uh, a little bit different kind of instant reaction I think that we were probably thinking we were going to do tonight. I actually wasn't really planning on doing one if Florida State won this game, so it's kind of a little last minute between our guys. Florida State loses their home and season opener to Georgia Tech, 16-13. With me this evening is Nate Greer, our lead recruiting insider. Also with me is our lead basketball writer, Austin Veazey. He made sure to jump onto this one to give his reaction. But what's going on, gentlemen? I feel like, it's hard not to just be like, it's hard not to laugh, but because at this point it's not like a shocker to anybody. Like they're just kind of just going through the same motions of losing and losing and losing. But this time it's really disappointing.
Yeah. So this team finds new ways to lose the same kind of way. Every game, for me, I look at what the consistent factor is. I don't really look at Norvell and hold him accountable for this. Yeah, he's a head coach, so some of it falls on him. But this was just a lack of execution and lack of just the inability of the players just to nut up and make a play. That loser blood just came through as the stress of the pressure of the game got tight. They just folded. Extremely disappointing. Losing to a team that was just so piss poor a year ago.
Yeah, it's certainly disappointing. Like we all thought coming in, like this is perfect way to start off. You got Georgia Tech. They were 3-9 last year. They've got so many new parts that they got so many moving parts. There's no way they can compete. And then here we are after a 6.5 hour game. Like, wow, this is something.
Yeah, Blackman goes 23 of 43, 198 yards, a touchdown, interception. I don't know.
6 yards for completion, dude.
Yeah, it felt like a whole weird day. Anyways, obviously delay. I'll be honest though, the atmosphere inside the stadium wasn't much of a change to me. It looked like it was packed. I was there and it looked packed. It was more than how many of those they said it was, the attendance, but. It was just a weird day overall, and I don't know. It's hard for me to really understand what this team, what they're thinking right now. I was talking about this earlier in the back cave to give my quick instant reaction after the game, and I was like, I trust Norvell, but I really don't think this team is ready for Norvell. I don't think they're ready to execute Norvell's plans properly. And it showed today. Things that they was put in place for him. Blackman was actually getting some blocking to be able to throw, but he just did not want to throw. You just knew it was not going to happen. He just did not want to take shots. I don't know. I haven't seen him really like that. He did not want to. He missed Helton a few times, not missed him, but he didn't read him there. They just did not want to throw the ball. The O-line gave him enough protection to make plenty of throws, and just didn't happen.
Especially the starters. The starting offensive line, I thought was actually solid. They got banged up throughout the game, but the starters, they gave him plenty of time, and like you said, he just did not want to throw. And when he did throw, he missed the guy by 5 yards.
Yeah, as soon as he started getting pressure, outside that first series, that scripted series, he just, the mechanics went sideways. The happy feet came back. His lack of accuracy. He had a lot of time. Yeah, the offensive line they had a couple plays where they were 2019-18 version, but they gave him plenty of time. He just, like Logan said, I don't know how many times, I lost count of, he would pump fake it in the pocket and not trust his eyes and just throw the ball.
Yeah, it's really disappointing because we thought we'd see a little bit more of a I don't know. you were hoping to have a different kind of Blackman than you've had. That he's been around in the program for you. You just wish you would have had a different one. You thought you would have some progression. Once again, it's always the first drive in Doak Campbell Stadium. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Fans are ready to celebrate and start drinking, and things are good to go. And then offense stalls, and they forget that they're playing a football game. It was nice, but defense also not impressed.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I'm more not impressed with the D line. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you, Marvin? Corey Durden, did you play tonight? The only thing that I remember you doing was your little spin move that I don't even know what you're doing. I didn't know what that was, to be honest. But yeah, defensive line, obviously now Kando's. Hopefully the injury isn't a lingering one. But now you're going to have to focus on having Fuller there on the opposite side of J-Rob. I do like, I think J-Rob did have, I think he
played a good game.
Yeah, he wasn't lagging around like he has in his career, and he's going to have to step up big time. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the defense?
Soft. You kept playing zone, which didn't help. You got some very physical corners, and playing zone doesn't play to their specialty. The D-line, they kept getting pushed around, which when you got Robert Cooper and Marvin Wilson, it's not a group that gets pushed around easily. And I mean, yeah, the linebackers, I think everyone will admit it's a weak spot, but they did nothing to help their cause today. Giving up 400-plus yards to Georgia Tech, yeah, they only scored 16 points, but when you block 2 field goals and an extra point, have red zone interception, 16 points doesn't mean much.
Yeah. Yeah,
when you look at those, those missed points, Florida State lost. They left points on the field too. Let's call it what it is. Both of those pick sixes by Samuel should have been scores. Someone needs to teach him how to properly run back and read the field. And that drop pass by Tamar and Terry. But, when you look at the defense, I was extremely disappointed with the defensive line also. Also you heard throughout camp is how great and how deep it was when you have legit NFL talent and they just got no pressure. I don't want to get on a soapbox about that cheap ass block on Kendo, but I think that should be held in the same regard as a targeting penalty. You can't be going at guys' knees, man. That was just a cheap shot. I think that it's a significant downgrade going from Kendo to Fuller. If you watch Fuller, he struggled getting off the ball and just seemed very slow. Linebackers like Austin, very disappointed. And just awareness. You're playing zone and the entire game. Jeff Sims is taking the short stuff, taking what you give him, or he's one read, get rid of the ball. One read, get rid of the ball, or he's going to run it. So they didn't do anything that was super hard to plan for. But for me, I was very disappointed in the way that the coaches didn't adjust to that. I was expecting more from this staff, a staff that is kind of known for being able to make adjustments and to coach. I'm much like Austin. I don't think they used their players in the right way. You have very aggressive defensive backs that are more in your face, man-to-man type coverage guys, but just very disappointing.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a tale of the last few years that the offense is just so poor that, again, the defense looked like world beaters in camp.
Yeah. There's a lot of things to look back at this. I mean, we'll talk about it whenever we have a full podcast and look back, and I still want to go back and watch the game.
But how do you let sorry to cut you off, but how do you let Jeff Sims go for 341 all-purpose yards?
It's not even like Sims was fantastic. He wasn't. He was just taking what was given to him.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people are like, man, we really let this guy go. He's a stud. Like, he's not. He's mid. He's fine. He's nothing special right now. He's just taking what's there for him, and how can you get mad at him for it?
He was 23 of 34 for 277 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions,
He should have
64
4
yards
interceptions.
rushing. No, 2.
I'm saying he should have had 4.
Oh yeah, he should have 4.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Emmett dropped
Emmett
one.
Rice should have been a pick 6. You know, that's another one. You know, FSU. You know, at the end of the day,
that should have been at 6 points. Yeah.
Yeah, your players got to make plays, and FSU doesn't
That's what I'm
guy
saying.
who wants to step up and make a play.
I will say, I mean, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Am I putting this? Obviously, you're the head coach. It's Norvell, so you got to take blame and whatnot. But like I said, our players. I mean, first of all, I don't even want to get started back on Thompson because I already let out kind of my stuff in the back cave and I went off. But I'm tired of seeing on Warren Thompson. I'm tired of the fall. Here we go. Tired of the fall camp. We get it. We love them in spring game practices. We get it. Great spring game. We get it. Great camp. We get it. Wonderful practices. We get it. Get to a game. Look what happens. Got to move on. I don't know what it is about it, but sorry. Give me Jordan Young. Give me Wilson. Give me Portier. I don't know. I'm just it's ridiculous. And then he gets up after he makes a drop that would have been huge for Florida State, where they probably would have went down and scored. He makes a drop and then he gets up and starts talking shit to the DB. Yeah. Brother, you dropped the ball.
The thing is, like, he runs good routes, but yeah, he can't catch. He's like the last guy that wore number 11.
No, I'm about to tell you something right now. People are gonna be pissed about it, but sorry, all that good looks. He has great practices and everything. You know what that kind of sounds like? That sounds a little bit like Keith Gavin to me. Sorry to say it, but it sounds a little bit like Keith Gavin. Sorry. I mean, I know everybody loves Warren Thompson and all that. I mean, but too Keith Gavin-y for me. I'm a pass.
If you follow me on Twitter for a long time, not to get on a tangent about Armwood, but I'm never been a fan of Armwood recruits because they never pan out, and they have this drama attached to them. And he is the epitome of look like Tarzan, played like Jane.
Mm-hmm.
When the pressure's on, guy who bitches about getting the ball and wanting the ball, and he had a good catch and on an overthrow, but when it counts, he's George Campbell Part 2. He's Keith Gavin Part 2. There's a reason why a lot of guys want to see Jordan Young, who quite a few times, watch the game again, was open. And Blackman would hesitate, wouldn't throw the ball, and he was getting open. So.
Yeah, and what I like about Young too is that when he gets his PT, he takes advantage of it. And I mean, it's completely understandable for Terry. I mean, I understand. He lost his grandma either late last night or early this morning, and he just was. I don't know. I mean, it might have been a whole virus effect on that offense or the wide receiver room because Terry is a whole 180. I don't think he even opened his mouth to say anything on during the whole game. I really don't think he said anything. It really affected. I don't know if it affected just the wide receiver room or that whole offense. I mean, that is your best player on offense. I mean, does that do it? I mean, it was I mean, I understand. Obviously, he had a pretty big drop there that would have went for 6. But I don't know. That offense just didn't seem like really with it. I don't know.
I mean, we're beating around the bush. You might as well say it. Blackman was horrible.
Yes,
he was not good.
Yeah.
He was not good. Your starting quarterback, who is now started 3 years at some point in a row, 4 years in a row, whatever it is. I don't care anymore. 4.6 yards per completion. That's horrible.
Yeah.
And he's still acting like a freshman.
Yes. Like
he's still so emotional, and like you can't be that as the starting quarterback for Florida State. You got to have a level head.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's frustrating because I want to drop a bunch of cuss words, but
go right ahead.
You look at Norvell, and some of the play calls, Love goes out and they bring in Neal, and they go downfield. Probably should have cover that side more, and that you can see that coming when a freshman tackle comes in. They either should have kept the tight end over there to help block or use a running back or whatnot. But also, Blackman has to have the awareness to realize that, here you go. You just lost your right tackle, probably your best overall lineman. They're going to go ahead and bring pressure on that side, and he fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's just another point of the pressure and not having the awareness of what's going on around you. And I'm not a fan of Blackman. I think the injury to Chuba Purdy is significant to the offense because at some point I thought Purdy was going to take over the starting job because Blackman is what he is. He's going to get you a couple chunk plays, but at the end of the day, he's going to cost you more because he's just so hesitant and he just is not a good quarterback. And now they're stuck. So do they? You saw the one pass that Jordan Travis had was awful. He's a one-trick
He was
pony.
kind of flat by 6 feet. That was horrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Or do you take your chances with Rodemaker and take your bumps? Because I think we all know the quarterback of the future is Chuba or Luke Altmaier coming in.
Yeah.
And, say what you want, be upset what you want, talk about how Norvell dropped Jeff Sims when he came over. That's great. He didn't feel like he was a fit for his offense. Again, like Austin said, Sims had a good game. He plays very solid as a freshman. The coaches for Georgia Tech called a great game for him and kept him clean, kept him overall. They put him in a position to make the plays that he's able to make. But he wasn't great. All these people on Twitter talking about, as a black guy for Norvell dropping Jeff Sims. He made his quarterback evaluation. He went and got a guy who he liked, and Chuba, and he was first and foremost on the Luke Altmaier train. And 2 games into his senior season, he looks the real deal. So you have to let this coach get rid of all these Jimbo Fisher loser blood players who don't know how to win, who haven't won in 4 years, and allow him to change the culture of winning. Because right now they don't know how to win, and when it comes to pressure, they fold like cheap fucking suits.
And part of the issue is, I'll go ahead and say we've been a very spoiled fan base for a long time. We're used to success, so when we have this sustained stretch of we kind of suck, we have no patience with it. We don't know how to rebuild. We don't know how to just sit back and go let a coaching staff take care of this for 2 or 3 years because this isn't a 1-year fix.
No,
and it wasn't when we hired Taggart, and we made a mistake by thinking it was, and instead it just got worse.
Yeah, but also, no FSU fan wants to be like Miami and Tennessee. And I think there's a major fear of that happening. And I don't think FSU's that far off. But at the same time, you have the pieces, major pieces, like you said, Austin, your quarterback has to be the guy. He has to be the leader of the team. He has to be even keeled. He has to be the unquestioned go-to. And he's not. Yeah, the team supports him. They like him as a person, but he's not the leader. He doesn't step up and yank these guys into where they need to be. He's not the voice, and that's a problem for me.
I'm looking at stats here, and I told myself I don't want to look at them, but here I am. That's mainly right here. Your leading rusher was your backup quarterback that got in just a few times.
8 rushes, 55 yards.
Yeah, not LaDamian Webb, not Deshaun Corbin. Your 2-star, not your 2 stars, but you got 2 really, they're talented running backs that can take care of things.
Well, speaking of Corbin, he's your leading receiver.
Yeah. I don't know. Stats are kind of, I feel like, I don't know, but that's already troubling right there. I mean, that just tells you there's some problems there on that end.
I mean, there is one stat I like looking at it. I do really like, and that's the 7 penalties for 50 yards. To me, that was a pretty big improvement from what we've seen the last 2 years.
For me, I know we chatted quickly via chat in the crew. What hurt there is when it happened, those penalties.
Oh yeah, like the false start on 4th and 3, the
Yeah.
4th and 3 is ridiculous.
Yeah, but yeah, there weren't the procedure, the lineup, and all that kind of stuff. I think overall, for me, the biggest takeaway is the detail and the improvement of special teams, which is very significant, and that shows you that. I mean, that's a very detailed segment on the team, and that just tells me, and that gives me a little bit of faith in what Norvell can do in terms of the detail and how he can positively impact the team.
And it wasn't just the block kicks. The kick coverage looked better.
Yep.
Punt coverage looked good. Kick
The
returns looked
return
good.
yards, yep.
Yeah, all of that looked really, really good. And yeah, part of that on kick returns and punt returns, you have Travis J, who's a freak. That's another positive to take away from this, which I think we all kind of knew. But all the special teams looked phenomenal.
Yeah, that's a plus about. I mean, that's the major plus. I mean, the only reason Florida State the score is like this is because special teams and the block kick or block field goals, and that's how this game looks, where it's an actual close of a loss here. I mean, Georgia Tech could have gone up. They could have made these field goals right ball, and like Nate said earlier, this team, whenever pressure starts in, they fold, and so that score probably would have even been worse. I mean, Florida State in the second half, if a team gets maybe another touchdown on their drive, this team just doesn't know how to handle. That's why I'm keep on putting down. I'm saying this team is just not ready for Norvell. This woke up Norvell too on his side of things, thinking, this is what I really got. This is what I got to deal with, and it's not going to be this year. It's going to take a little bit more into next year, but it's not like a quick fix. And this team as a whole has got a lot of work to do on waking up. I mean, Marvin Wilson put out said on ESPN a few weeks ago that he feels like this team is a 10 plus win kind of team. Well,
man, show me shit.
That ain't that. For what, the basketball team in like the first 10 games they play? Yeah, that'd be 10 wins. Not football.
I publicly apologize to any fan who bought my 8-3 project. Okay, I'm sorry.
That wasn't you, right? That was someone you were drinking, right?
No, I thought it was 8-3, man. I thought this team, you had the pieces. The pieces are there. The ability is there. It's just a bunch of mental midgets.
No, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. I think the coaching will. I mean, I think the coaches found out what they really have to do with this team. Yes. They found out tonight. What you got to hope is like a positive come out, because I always try to stay optimistic, and we're not. The world isn't falling apart, but the talent is there. There is a lot of good things to think about the offense. If there can actually be quarterback play and he can just make reads, you've got two running backs that can take care of business. I mean, I really like Webb. I think tonight, I really like Webb over Corbin. I think Webb gives you more, definitely off to the side and pass catching. And then you had a little bit of pass protection, so I mean, you just got to have somebody that can throw the ball, and it was not seeing anybody. I mean,
Norvell's offense is predicated on the quarterback having to be someone that can make a quick decision. They have to be able to read the defense pre-snap and know where the ball is going to go. He doesn't do a lot of crazy stuff on offense. He's either going to do an RPO, a play action, or they're going to run straight. They're not going to do a bunch of crazy stuff. And all the other stuff is smoke and mirrors. So you need a quarterback that's able to get rid of the ball accurately. And that was my biggest issue with Blackman coming in, is his inability to be an accurate quarterback that we've seen from his time at FSU. And that's just carried over. You can't hesitate and pump fake and dance around in the fucking pocket and then think that it's going to be okay. I do agree with you, Logan. I think that it's.
Uh-oh. I think we lost you there, Nate, for a second.
You there?
There you go. Now I can hear you.
Yeah, I think it's a wake-up call, and these coaches are probably sitting there thinking, like, oh, shit, we got a lot of work to do.
And I expected there to be growing pains this season, especially losing, the majority of the summer, the majority of spring. I didn't think it was going to be this much of a growing pain. This is a growing broken bone. It's just, Yeah, it's one of those things, like you said. Blackman has to be better, just getting things out quicker. Like you said, Norvell's offense is predicated on having a quick read quarterback, and that's not what Blackman is.
Mm-mm.
I mean, if you go back to April, do you really rethink taking Brady White in?
I would have taken him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, especially knowing what we know now, where you don't have a spring in the summer, and Purdy gets hurt. I'd love to have Brady White right now.
Yeah, I said it back then that I would have taken him in a heartbeat. Brady White is not a fantastic pro potential quarterback, but he's a great college quarterback, and that's what you need.
Yeah, all you need is average in Tallahassee.
Yes.
Really, you just need that. Blackman's not even near it. You just need average and let the rest. You got the talent around it. You got Ferraris on the side. You got 2 horses in the back. Old Town Road. I mean, we're just rolling, but you just need a quarterback to just do a few little deliverables, do a little bit of Amazon Prime to some of these cats that can have fun with the ball and do their thing. You know, I don't know where I kind of just went there with all that, but
no, you said it wouldn't need to be said. You know,
no,
make it happen tonight.
Yeah. What else? Jerry Jones. I don't know what happened there.
That was offensive pass interference.
Okay.
So he lost contact. You know, he's playing the hip, but if you watch it, the receiver pushed off to create.
It was a horribly thrown ball.
Yes.
I mean, the ball was 5 yards short, and the receiver. I mean, he made a good adjustment. You can call it interference. You can call it what you want. He made a great adjustment to it, and Jones didn't really stand much of a chance when the ball is that underthrown.
You're speaking of, you know, and Terry on that deep ball early where he didn't adjust to the throw properly. You know, he went over the wrong shoulder and got turned around. That would have been 6 there too.
Yeah, I'm looking here. I'll be honest. I mean, obviously, Asante Samuel is going to be really good this year. Do I think that Jeff Sims gave him some of that? Gave him those 2 interceptions? Most certainly. I mean, all of us here could have made those interceptions, but still, I think he had a pretty solid game. He had in that zone crap. It just doesn't fit him well. Don't put Asante in that. That's just not how it works.
None of these guys are zone guys. Put him in man-to-man and get him physical. That's what Florida State is.
Yeah, stop all the silliness. I thought they'd make adjustments too, but that's something Fuller's gonna have to. That's what Fuller's gonna have to figure out, because he's gonna start getting third and Fuller, because there was way too many third and conversions for a freshman in his first college game against what should be a very good Florida State defense. That should just not happen. But that is the case. That is the virus that I don't know will ever leave Doak Campbell Stadium, as 3rd and 14, 3rd and 12, and it will turn into a first down.
2nd and 18, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 8, all converted on scoring drives.
Yeah, that's sad. But I'm going back to those interceptions. Shoot. Those interceptions don't happen. Definitely when Sims was driving down the field and Florida State's, I think, in the red zone, and Samuel got it. They were about to score. You know, these block kicks, and you're glad that you're able to get some interceptions and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, Florida State's lucky it's just 16-13.
Yep.
Offensively.
Oh, yeah, it very, very easily could have been 30-13.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
do y'all
is sad.
Do y'all think Georgia Tech is average, good?
I still think Georgia Tech's a fucking poor team. Okay. They don't have a pass rush. They got sacked because of the inability of the quarterback to get rid of the ball.
Yeah. I mean, they're a better team than they were last year, but granted,
yes, they are.
Much.
I mean, Jeff Collins is a good coach. He's a good defensive coach. He has an offensive coordinator that he's in year 4, 2 years at Temple, 2 years now at Georgia Tech, so they have continuity there. They got a quarterback and they're able to fit the offense to him. They don't have a lot of skill. Just a coach team. You can't turn the ball over 3 times. You can't shoot yourself in the foot. You can't drop 2 touchdowns. You can't drop a pick 6. They did everything you needed to do to keep an inferior team in the game. and you could tell as the game kept going, they kept getting more and more and more confident, and that's a true factor in football. That's why upsets happen because you keep an inferior team in the game, and then all of a sudden you start to scramble, and then you're a team full of, like I said earlier, mental midgets, and what happens is that you lose. Man, fuck.
What's crazy is Florida State had more time and possession of the ball than Georgia Tech this whole entire night, 30 minutes.
It was
I mean,
by like a minute.
By
No,
a minute, but
possession
still,
doesn't really matter.
But it's crazy though. You can only score one touchdown. I think it's also against the law. I think it's straight up against the law. Keyshawn Helton only had one reception this whole entire night. Like I said, Blackman missed him. I know a deep, wide open, and I wasn't able to see the second half and see what Blackman was reading. I wasn't there at the second half, but sorry, Keyshawn Helton, one reception. We know what that is. That's his touchdown, which I just want to say he absolutely deserved it. I was so happy for him.
He's got to get more touches.
Yeah, Helton is
too much. He's too electric to not get at least 7 to 10 touches a game.
Yeah, and that's why I'm wondering. I would kill to be in the film room right now, seeing what Blackman was doing, because that pissed me off. I mean, you were just sitting there, man, and you finally have pass protection. I'm like, do something with it, please. Like, let me get out there. Let me at least do something. Like, take advantage of the opportunity, man. I don't give a damn if most certainly Terry is one-on-one. You have to. That is NFL talent. Take the effing 1v one-on-one. I don't give a damn if it's Helton one-on-one. Just do it. There's just no way. Time again and play after play after play after play that you cannot just throw the ball once. That just doesn't. Unless these DBs from Georgia Tech are about to go first round, I don't give a damn. Throw it to your wide receiver targets. There's too much talent there.
You know what hasn't been said yet is the fact that Georgia Tech's best cornerback, Trey Swilling, was out this game. A guy who was all ACC last year. So they didn't even have their best defensive back playing tonight.
And they didn't have their defensive ends either, right?
Correct. They're out 3 defensive ends, and they're out their best cover corner, and yet they still shut down FSU's offense.
Yeah, man, it starts from the general up front with Blackman. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. We know you can't. They threw Jordan Travis in there because they had to get some kind of like momentum going. He was not going to be out there to be throwing the ball and all that. They tried it a little bit here and just to try to get a little toss out, but that stopped real quick. So Blackman stayed out there. But after that, Chubba's going to be out for a good amount of time. Roadmaker faced some pretty damn good competition in high school. The best divisions in Georgia. I mean, I'm not usually about it. Like, I don't usually think that way, but I mean,
at this point, I'd rather take the speed
I'd rather
bumps.
take the lumps.
Yeah, I'd take the bumps with Rodemaker.
What would be too? What could be really worse?
I wish the Gottmeyer would have reclassified.
At this point, you look at the schedule. It's like, oh God, we can't beat Georgia Tech. Who are we going to beat?
Oh, you're going. You know what's crazy now? And I talked about this with my dad, and I don't want to be on here too much longer because we gotta get this out.
Right.
But
yeah,
real quick, last thoughts. First loss of the season. You get a bye week. You go down to Miami. I hate to say it, but that's just not going to be a good one. That you go 0-2. You come back home at Doak Campbell Stadium, 0-2. You lose to a rival 2. There ain't going to be nobody in that stadium. There ain't going to be nobody.
No chance.
Yeah, as it should be. I mean,
and it's Jacksonville State too. Like no one wants.
COVID's going on. I'd have no interest. I mean, I love being there for the atmosphere, and I just love football. I like being around it and whatnot. But would I rather stay here and watch some big-time games going on, or I can go pee and shit in my own toilet and just hang out here and grab more beers out of my fridge? Yeah. But, I mean, it ain't going to – it's sad that it's going to get this way, but –
FSU's not beating Miami if they run zone defense.
No, not a chance.
Their 5'8" quarterback is going to run for 200 yards.
Yep.
because it's just going to leave lanes aplenty open for him to choose to run from. You got to make him a passer, so you got to get in your man-to-man coverage, trust your guys in the back end to make the plays, and live and die with it, because it'll be a slow death against Miami if you play zone at all. Just don't even play it. Keep it at home. Keep it in the back pocket. Don't even touch it or think about it.
Yeah, and at least they have a bye week before you get to Miami. Like, you have 2 weeks ago. Hey, we need to play man. Like, it's just the fact of the matter.
I would say
throw a spy on Keene and go straight man to man. What is Miami going to do?
Yep, put Gaynor led the game in tackles, or led FSU in tackles. Have someone on him. I mean, you're gonna have to. I mean, we're gonna talk about it when it gets time. But I hope. I'll be honest with you. I hope Dillingham and Mike Norvell said, "You go and take your shower right now, Blackman. You go do that." Even all the quarterbacks need to do it. Y'all go take your showers. Y'all are staying here for the rest of the night. We're watching film. We're gonna go over what the hell just happened, because what your boy just did, your veteran quarterback just did, he couldn't make his read. So if you want to play, have a good couple practices, Roadmaker. Travis, we'll even try you in there, but y'all got to watch film. It's just not how it's supposed to be.
My final thought before I go, because I got to get off here, is Norvell needs to be the guy to say, "Hey, James, thank you for everything you've done, but you're not fucking playing here again. Opt out, transfer, do what you want to do, but you're not playing here again." Because every game is going to be the same. They're going to come out like gangbusters. He's going to look great, confident, and then as the game goes on, he's going to fall apart. He is what he is, and it's not going to change. It's a dumb product. It's time to move on.
Yeah. That might be it for Blackman. We will see. I do think that we will see. It's Florida State, and it's also 2020. I'm not putting on anything right now. I'm not putting a bet on anything. But I do think, though, I do believe in what I do like Mike Norvell. I think it was I do like some of the play calling that he had. I don't know what kind of went reversed in the second half, but I could ramble on about that. But I do trust that he is the guy to do it. I do not think he'll be going home anytime soon tonight. I think Dillingham are going to be in that office for a long while, along with other coaches, and they're going to try their hardest to fix this, because they've seen what happened before with the last staff, and they know what to not do, and they're not going home anytime soon tonight. So that's a good thing about it.
I mean, at least we're not Kansas, who's down 21-0 to Coastal Carolina as we speak.
Well, Florida State hasn't faced Jacksonville State yet. Austin, we haven't gotten there. We still got to see if we'll beat the bye week.
Yeah.
Florida State will beat the bye week. But yeah, as always, guys, thank you for listening. We will be recording next week. You can listen to this podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play. Enjoyed having everybody in the Discord. But yeah, thank you guys, and we will talk to you guys in the next podcast.
All right, guys.
See you guys.